One and all, welcome back to the channel for a pristine series. It's Gileadi up against Voldemar, and you are seeing that correctly. House of Lancaster made it through on a tournament series here in Midweek Muster. But Voldemar is on his signature set. We are going to answer the most important question. What is better, Mana Lords or TC Lords? Because this is a battle of two extremes of ecos. And I've got a feeling that's what this is going to turn into. Maybe 3 or town centers going up against mana spam. We are a minute into the game and a half we hopped in because of the initial scout rotation. And the fact is, like, going a little bit later in the game to arrive on this isn't the worst of ideas because I think we are just going to have agreed upon. Yep, Lancaster Castle, Eco Wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the 2x speed just for the early game here so we can catch up. The reality is we're probably looking at 3 TC at least. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be TC on the stone, which is already pristinely located next to the berries. That's perfect. And then you can TC on the golden deer, and then look for fast castle. Voldemar just going to trade? You don't have to trade with the enemy side. So trade sounds good until your opponent summons the Demi-Lancers. You'd think that's fine because, guys, there's a new trader in town. The problem is, like, 20% damage reduction is much better on higher base damage units in terms of, like, removing more threat. The Demi-Lancers, they have plastic swords, but there's a lot of them. Abbasid military wing into Ram for the first mana. You see why we would think that. But the all-in against House of Lancaster is what kind of felt a bit hit or miss. Usually it looks best when you're playing a Civ that has a premium cavalry unit with archers. The problem with Abba is they don't have a premium cavalry unit. Unless you want to build camel archers, which is just a bad idea against Mantis. There you go, second TC. Oh! So this is just 2 TC. Wait, but that doesn't really make Eco Wing worth it. Unless he's rushing far. Yeah, because, like, mathematically 2 TC doesn't really save you that much. 3 TC is where it starts to feel like it's worth the feudal investment. 4 TC, you're chimichangering. It's full cash. It looks like it's going to stop on the 2. So maybe we see aggro now. If it was 3 TC, I'd expect fast castle, considering the timings don't align. Gileadi, not to be called a camper, we already have the Yman getting queued up. Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be aggro from the killer. We'll go down to 1x speed soon because we're actually getting a bit of an aggro game. But it's an aggro plus a macro. I've seen this build a few times as well, and, like, this is even good enough. This is what I was talking about with House of Lancaster's economy being the core issue, more so than just the yeomen themselves. He should be able to pump out a lot of yeomen, courtesy of the fact he already has triple mana, generating 7.5 extra workers worth of gathering. So he's going to ride in time to stop the sort of blacksmith tech plays as well. So yeah, like I said, honestly I think you could decrease that tower range down to 5.5. If you really want, you can make this a 1 tower range unit. Like a 5 tower range unit, rather, by giving -1. My only issue is if you do that, I don't know why Lancaster is paying 90 resources. I know some people are going to react by saying because of the synchronized shot. But then my reaction is like, okay, do something fundamentally different with design and make the cost of Yeoman increase when you unlock Synchronized Shot. Now, that does mean, like, pre-scaling stronger, sure, but the problem is, like, I don't think if you take away the full tower range and they keep only 0.06 movement speed, I'm not sure if it really justifies an extra 10 resources. But we can try. Like I said, I like the idea of starting at 5.5 because the range difference isn't high enough to matter in archer exchanges. At least elongated archer exchanges. You have no objectivity towards Yeoman. I didn't realize that Yeoman is my secret brother, but you've caught me, man. Like, you know, my objectivity is out the window because my long-lost brother is actually the voice actor for the Yeoman here. Like, look, listen, ready? Yeah, you hear that? Like the undertone of the voice? Ready? Flamboga for Sheaton. See, like, we sound exactly alike. Same mother and everything. No objectivity. Also, did you see those 5 accounts that I grinded into the top 100 on AoE Full World using only House of Lancaster? I've got no objectivity. Brother, please. Here's the issue. Everyone screams nerf. Thing gets killed to the point that it isn't usable. Me, I want it to be balanced to the point that it's usable but not broken. Which is the better type of person? Oh, you got him. He killed that one Yman. Oh, wait. Where did these come from? I swear to God. This is like the bigger problem right now than the Yman timing. Because the Demi-Lancers, at such an early point, bully everything. But I like what Voldemar's doing. He's skipping into Castle Age. This will give him the camels to counter out the Demi-Lancers super effectively. And also the potency of heavily armored units. Oh my God. See, how are these not AP? He killed horsemen with these things? Yeomen are really good right now, but in my opinion, Sync Shot, a delay of 0.5 to 1 second. I think the problem with like a delay that doesn't have a clear, clarified up-down side to it is it completely contradicts the way that like range fighting works. If that makes sense. But you know, I said like a cooler way of doing it is you just make it a charge shot, and this will at first scramble people's brains and mechanic. But you click a location, and then if you click away early, they release, but their damage is lower. So what you could do, like animation-wise, it could make sense. Is like right now the problem with Sync Shot is you click it and it pew-pews all the shots out before you even start moving again. From what I can see. But if instead it was like it pew-pewed at a certain rate, so that you only do the third and fourth shot if you like shoot long enough, then you've essentially created a charge-up mechanic associated with synchronization, and then I think it's okay. But then if you make that change, you need to drastically change the stats of Yeoman. That's the thing you have to do. I'd be more concerned still about Demi-Lancers. These guys are ridiculous. Obviously going to die if they dive the primary TC, but for what he paid, kind of proven profitable. Probably one of the less profitable games I've seen for Demi-Lancer spam, but they create that space, and look at the mirror tech up timings. Both of them in Castle Age simultaneously. Now, one thing that was surprising here is the fact that Kilyadi went for the White Tower. There's been, like, no pressure on his side. I mean, well, there was an attempt, but it didn't really do much. And he would have been able to scout the castling, so he sacrificed King's. Like, it could make sense if he wants to Earl's Guard. Earl's Guard, remember, get buff damage for castles. They've already got +1, and it's because of the keepers. We'll go ahead and mop up these counters. You'd think this is a good exchange. I mean, in fairness, he did get it for free, so it's kind of okay. It's like, even if you kill one Demi-Lancer, your opponent spawns 8 of them, he pays 600 resources. That's less than 100 per Demi-Lancer. Kind of an awkward thing to have to build into Spears here when you know you're up against House of Lancaster. Same as English logic, like the premium archers here. I do wonder if he wants to potentially do Earl's Guard. It is kind of sick on a delay. So I think there's 2 points in the game where Earl's Guard are really, really good. Castle Age Rush and Post Imp with Elite Army Tactics. Because of the damage scale points, daggers, and everything else. Because like in Imperial Age, you should have 2 or 3 castles potentially. The value point in White Tower Rush is you get 3 Earl's Guard straight away, which is an insane 360 rebate into the unit you want to rush. And when you are rushing Castle Age, your opponent doesn't have many military units. So these dagger throws are really impactful. 18 damage is a lot when the army size is small. But Earl's Guard also just have an issue at scale. I don't think the unit is wieldable with the daggers when you block. Because you'll overkill like 1 or 2 units. Because using the dagger is difficult. Using the sword much easier. Nice little raid here. Kilyadi. This is a big hit. Every little counts right now because we can meme all we want about mana spam. And yes, Kilyadi has got 6 of them. But Voldemar almost has a 30 villager lead. And he just added in a 3rd TC. This is crazy. the chances Kilyadi hasn't played a lot of Lancaster and thought they had production? I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt here. I hope he knows. Yeah, reminder, the White Tower for Lancaster, like, their castles don't produce units. So the advantage you get instead is the +1 damage to Demi-Lancers and Elsguard, and spawning 3 Elsguard per castle. That's it. You don't even get an attack speed. Let's be moving up right now, and yes, you did just hear correctly by that very weird spam sound. He just shy levied. 14 yeomen. Low price at 1,200 resources. Wow, all of a sudden Kilyadi has the military lead. Synchronized shot on the way. Would it probably been nicer to do this the other way around, because the yeoman could be immediate, and that would give you yeoman into synchronized shot. But I think he just wants to get in position, and that's why he prioritized this. You know, guys, if you want to build Earlsguard and you're rushing castles, if you think about it, you're basically paying 600 resources for a keep. Wow, 540. Whoa. How come Shah Levy isn't Hobbit spam? Because you've all been misled. These are actually the Hobbits. I mean, it makes sense. You see the way this guy's holding his bow? Like, how light and small must you be to be shot out of the bow? Clearly Hobbits. Knight's coming in now as well. Does Kilyadi want to try to raid him to death? Waldemar is coming in strong here. There's not many easy entrance points. And also, he has got the outpost to give an early warning. Alright, are you guys ready for money? A money shot to make Voldemar cry for his mummy? See, Kilyadi wants it, but that was the importance of the outpost. Gave him that early warning. Kilyadi just trying to secure the stone in the flank now. Money shot, money shot, money shot. Where's the Sinky? Where's the Sing shot? There we go. So delayed. Oh my god. Was he trying to fake him out, or did Kilyadi fall asleep at the keyboard? It's hard to know sometimes. This man's a mystery. Imagine if that was an intentional fake out where Voldemar was like, oh yeah, he's going to shoot, I'm going to move. You just wait the whole time. Nothing happens. 20 seconds out for another one. I do think that this cooldown should be increased to at least a minute. I will say that. Sync shot 45-second cooldown is great. Wait, actually, guys, no, it's totally balanced. Look, the army's already dead. Doesn't matter. Oh, it is. Just gonna shoot it here. Ready? Steady. Ooh! Kilyadi! Real crotch stomper here. We do have Voldemar switching to Golem, so an opportunity to stabilize, but this is the chase now onto the villagers. Oh, thank God. I thought he'd ran himself into a corner. There is a tiny escape route here. Kilyadi needs a lot of kills, guys. This looked really good. You want to say GG, OP House of Lancaster. But remember what he's up against here. It's a 40 villager lead for Voldemar. At what point do you just try and get shivved out? There it is. Kilyadi, this just feels toxic. Another shot? Yeah, like done no damage. Okay, so good raid. Mathematically, Voldemar's still ahead. So Kilyadi's up at only 6 mana. He never took tier 2 tag. That's equating him an extra 15 villagers. And then he's got relics for like an extra, let's say 10 villagers. So 25 villagers added on. He's going to be at 80 villagers versus 93. And that's before we calculate Golden Age, which puts Voldemar further ahead. And also agriculture with mass farms. Honestly, I think Voldemar is in a pretty fine position. That dive done nowhere near enough. Other than the boar spawn, you love Relic River? The boar, the only issue I take with boar spawns is the RNG of it. Like, why has one player got a boar out here and another one has it here? They need to regulate the spawn, so realistically, the boar should spawn out here alongside the deer in the same area because it's really far away from your base. And then the other deers, I think, should always spawn ahead on the south side. So what you're doing there is you're heavily balancing the south and north side of the maps with economy. And the central advantage is quicker access. And you could actually, like, I think you'd genuinely add, like, an extra berry batch that spawns on each side here. You could even consider maybe just adding 2 shoreline fish here. But outside that, yeah, I agree. I love it. That's a great map. I think Relic River is probably the best map added for competitive 1v1s. It's definitely the best optimizer. Which is saying a lot about we've still got some ways to come considering the criticism. But yeah, there's loads of cool map additions like Carmel, the introduction to smaller gold veins. I think it's going to be a big deal. Okay, so Kiliadi, he is going to now try to just play tempo on the map. He's pressuring, but he's obviously trying to force Voldemort to come out ahead of time. I don't think it's going to work. Voldy, well, we've got composite bows on. All right, all this talk of sync shot, but let's actually give appropriate respect to composite bows. Gatling gun mode, pretty strong. Boot camp also very key here. Most units shouldn't really melt too easily to this. What? Sync shot! Wow, look at that damage. And he got him. Got him good. Whoopsie, slow that down. Golems, they absorbed most of the shots. Knights are now going to be able to defend. At this point, I think Killer is probably wishing he had the Collar of S's to wipe the Golems quicker. Mangoes are going to march up. Castrians. Okay. Honestly, I think this is the point where Voldemar is quite stabilized. Kiliadi, he's got Sacred Side control. Holding it is a whole other matter. Wait, is Voldemar not actually doing archers after all this? Wait, you've got composite bows, sir. That's not cheap. That was smart by Kiliadi. A little bit overkill, but the whole concept is he can kite the golems indefinitely. The thing that could kill him is the range units behind him. The fact that he's up against mass knights, he's just like, yeah, good. But that's what Yman does to you. Same thing that Longbow does to you. You just don't feel like you can build spears against them. We are now getting that switch, though. This is getting so scrappy. Kiliadi is trying to rally it towards a condensed location, but it's 25 Golem. Money shot is broken? I'm sorry, did we just watch the last 2 money shots? If that was a money shot, you're playing at the dollar buy-in poker table. Come on. Situationally, money shot, very strong. Not in every single situation. Sometimes it just looks like a little bit of pew-pew. Sometimes it is rain of hell. Looking to make it rain a different way. Yeah. Big spenders can actually reinvest. He realizes actually Voldemor's not going to let him get away with this that easily. Do we actually have more manners? Yes. Okay, so we went for Final Tech now. So Kiliadi preferably wants to try and trend towards Imperial Age now. Because then you get Scuttage, which adds in an extra 360 passive resources. Need to play some MOBAs? Yeah. And you know what? I'm with Faye on this. I've said, like, this is like Mirana Arrow. Just dodge. You know what? You know where the brain of our pros went? I just tested this with Baltun. He's like, how will I dodge money shot? Let's try Pavis. Just move, lol. And whatever you do, make sure you don't go to the Prometheus school of running away from things. Don't run into them. Get out of this. Yes, several years of Dota 2 has trained me in the ways of arrow dodging. Because in Dota 2, when you fail to dodge that arrow, the whole lobby lasts. Last time I got hit by an arrow from Mirana in Dota 2, even my mom phoned me on the phone. That's how we've got to fix this, guys. We've got to make our players adjust to sync shot. Anytime you're in a team game and your friend doesn't dodge sync shot, laugh at them. Look at that. Voldemar, what a god. Barely got touched. No laughing at Voldemar today. And my little opponent's fantasy time. We have got Horseman on the way. Voldemar is stockpiling pretty much enough production in reserve to go Imperial. Meanwhile, Kilyadi, it's a little bit slower. I think he's just got out-ecoed. What impresses me is the way Voldemar done this essentially on 2TC. The third was quite delayed. And Abbasids has been considered one of the weakest civs in the last several months. Up against the dominant House of Lancaster, they look like anything but a blue. If the game goes deep enough, Kilyadi's economy is stronger, but not by much. Because Abbasids have a lot of unique techs in eco that benefits them. Actually, I think Abbasids in the civs will still be ahead, even when they're forced to, like, you know, equal villages. Like, if you're equal villages, actually, rather. His manors generate 1,200 resources per minute extra, but you've got the agriculture tech for an extra 15%. Then you've got the improved processing for an extra 8%. Then you've got Golden Age for an extra 20% when capped out. I think Abbasids are kind of okay. Wait, why are you watching the Civ while playing Assassin's Creed 2? You should be playing Assassin's Creed 1. Because we've got the Middle Eastern Civ versus... you know what we need? We need actual Knights of Templar. But I was going to say, because we've got, like, English members of the Templar kind of thing. So I'm wondering why Golden Age production speed works on TC. Huh? Alright, we do have a little bit of a rate of that. Kilyadi knows he needs to go Imperial. I think he can sense it's coming. Because why else wouldn't Voldemar just be meat lobbing when you go out? Crossbows. I'm just going to body block this out. The boot camp extra health lasting long enough to do so, in fact. Yeah, Kilyadi's trying to take a raid approach to this, but I don't think it's about killing Voldemar's economy. It's about stopping Voldemar from making moves. Those moves are coming in fast. And they're going to have a groove to them. I just saw camel handling tech. A camel rider switch goes pretty hard at this stage. Trevor attempts. Barky is going to be. Okay, so secure on the north side. He's fully invested. This is do or die by the sacred sites, but... Wait, what... No. There's literally nothing protecting the south side sacred site. I am looking at the build count for like eco comparison, but it matters with the build. Like we said, if you cap out as House of Lancaster versus Abbasids, I don't think you need to keep that many more villages as Abbasids to mirror House of Lancaster's economy because of all the raw eco buffs they get. Because remember, when you remove the manors, the only eco buff that House of Lancaster has is they gather from sheep quick, which if you somehow still have sheep 27 minutes into a game, I'm impressed. Maybe if you're playing team games with monsters. Sink shot? I think he's staggering it. Yeah, nicely done. Unfortunately, just not enough. Goodlands. Upgrade's coming in soon. He's going to preemptively attack, though. Big money shot in the center. Mangoes are on the way. Even a Corvin showing up now. The night count, a little bit lacking here. Doesn't feel like he's got enough to keep pushing through. He'll be able to leak over. Siege capable of camping. Oh, whoa, okay. Final Knight actually gets the kill. Now, Kilyadi is upgraded in terms of age, not upgraded in terms of units. They're all still castle variety. And the Ghoulam tech just kicked in. I think he's been missing in this. This is why the firepower's been good enough to take him down. I think Voldemar maybe rushed his timing slightly. I don't think he needed to dive in so quickly here, but he's pressured by the sacred site win condition. Meatball plus the kill is now coming. Kilyadi, numbers starting to fall quite a bit here. EA's going for the Lunar Glaive. He's got Throwing Dagger Deals on the way. That's going to give him the double attack and a little bit of AoE splash. Not a bad idea here. Always finicky, like we said, because of the way you initially connect to the battle. There we go, Elite Yman in. Shot to the back. Nice hit. Crossbow count is falling. Meantime, castle close to falling. Southside is still not been realized. Voldemar I think this is going to be the giveaway. Yeah, like, these outposts should just about see there's nothing here. Instead, he's going to keep breaking in the center. Villagers trying to repair now. Costly loss as the Cauldron just keeps on sieging. The Ghoulems having a hell of a good time because the villagers cannot stop repairing this. 60 villager lead still for Voldy. He seems to be running out of steam. What is going on here? Two shots of this going to scare the villagers away. I mean, if he just pulls. Yeah, he's still acting like there's a real threat here. But I think the idea now is Outpost stops the villagers from pulling onto the sacred site. Unfortunately, it's a tip-off. I think he saw it, so Castle Drop is now on the way. No, come on. Not like this. Voldemar, he has got this goal on the south side still to work with. Meanwhile, north side's been secured. So Kiliardi can keep deep pumping. Also going to try to ride to the north side, but the Barksy out there is going to be difficult. Villager on villager action, but... No, this is just not going to work. Because Kiliardi can just hold on to it one at a time to get the castle up. And the outpost, it can't reach that village. Oh, come on. Not like this. Reminder, by the way, Kiliardi has been maintaining this without Scuttage. That's only now coming in. He's about to get 360 extra passive income a minute. This is ridiculous. But wait! He gets it! Voldemar with the decap! Northside success! What happened? You've got to be kidding me. Kiliardi, he didn't realize. He had villagers here. He didn't garrison. He didn't pull. He was so distracted south side and center, he didn't know us. But it still might not matter. Oh, come on. A Pyrrhic loss for Voldemar, it feels like. Meat Blob just feels a little bit too big. These choke points now can become your own tomb. Weave the sink shots. You know what the truest of sink shots would be? Killing a boat. This... I feel actually very frustrated on behalf of Voldemar because I feel like at most points he's done the right thing here. You could argue the south side, he should have decapped that more easily, sure. Like outside, for real. I feel like he done a lot of things well. And also, you know, for Kiliardi, he done a lot of things weak. For example, the fact he went White Tower over going for the King's College. King's College would have been great for the heavily armored knights. Would have been great for the extra bonus damage against your counters. Only thing you would have given up is +1 damage on your spell spell. And yet, still, it's not enough. We have got tier 3 unlocked for a bit now, so production rate should be good enough, but I just think Voldemar doesn't have the gold. He lost control of south side. It was the only thing keeping him alive in this game. I think sequentially we are going to be seeing a GG call very shortly. So close. Okay, you know someone's miles ahead when they can do this. Exact militia program. I rarely ever see this pulled. 2,500 resources. It's worth it when you're fully capped, but like usually the issue is you don't necessarily want those unit types. He kind of has the perfect comp for it. Isn't Eco sane because of Manners? Manners is worth about 1,200 resources roughly at this stage. And 1,200 resources is worth 30-ish villages. It's like, no. Technically, no. But the army mass is just so big at this stage. And also, keep in mind, for the last several minutes, Voldemar has been diving castles to try and get back in this game. Voldemar, he's going to try to remass. His economy is now becoming his constrictor. He just doesn't have enough military troops. Riding the farms, that's going to idle them out there. Can't really afford that type of gap. Also going to dive in, but good luck. Shot! I even walked back into it this time. And he calls the GGs. A valiant effort by Voldemar. What do you guys think? Could this build work? Could you actually beat House of Lancaster with it? Or are you always doomed to find yourself in this exact type of position?